Well, hello, family. We are in paradise this week. A bunch of us from your church, meeting new friends, meeting new family members. I have met this wonderful gentleman by my side, call him my brother now, Mr. Rollin. And he was explaining to me some of the profound insights that he's got reading this specific chapter in John 17, where he has found a good solid foundation to continue to build his foundation of faith. So John 17 talks about, it's Jesus praying for his disciples, right?
Mm-hmm.
And tell me about the depths of revelation you found there.
Right now, we're all surrounded with one of the questions that I struggle with is what is truth? Because you don't know what truth is anymore.
Right.
Whether it be in the political world, the church world, or whatever, truth is sort of nebulous. But for me to reestablish that in my life, I sat down one day and read John 17, the entire chapter. And that's the prayer of Jesus. And I was impacted by the first part of the chapter is Jesus praying for himself to be restored back to the Father upon his departing this earth, and praying that he had done what the Father had asked him to do. And so as I thought about that, then there was one of his desires, or one of his evidences that he had, was the fact that he'd be restored to the right hand of the Father. And then I read in the second part of the chapter about his prayer for his disciples. And his prayer for his disciples was that they would impart upon the world what he had taught them, and they would understand the true glory of God. And then he went on to explain that to them, and that they would be able to impart that with their lives. And we know that the disciples were moved around the world. And I stood in India where they feel the disciple Thomas was martyred. So we have evidence of the disciples moving around the world and planting the church, and the church is us. And the last part of the chapter is his prayer for the church, and that's what really spoke to me, was that he was praying for the church, and we're the bride of Christ, the church.
Yeah, isn't that reassuring that thousands of years ago, before Jesus died, he was praying for us?
Right. And so the way my faith walk came out on this, as far as the truth was concerned, was Jesus' desire to be restored at the right hand of the Father. And we all remember the story of Stephen the martyr. And before he was even starting to be martyred, he looked up into heaven, and his eyes were opened, and he saw Jesus at the right hand of the Father. And that was Jesus' prayer for himself, to be restored to the right hand of the Father. And as one of his not one of his disciples, but one of his believers was martyred, that happened, that they saw him restored to the right hand of the Father. So to me, that's truth. That's absolute truth. And I can base my faith on that at this point.
I think I can base my faith on that too.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that we can all base our faith upon, and knowing that Jesus' heart's desire was met, and through that we have salvation.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of reassuring to us that it's okay to follow our heart's desire, as long as our heart's desire is to be with God the Father. And we know that when our heart's desire is to be with God the Father, many people are going to be blessed because of that too. And that God answers those prayers. That's reassuring.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Well, thanks for sharing.
Yeah, you're welcome.
We'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.